Hey,
Hello.
welcome back. Today, we want to talk about something that's pretty important. If you're outside of the U.S., if you're living outside the U.S. especially, what happens if you get sick? LaShawn and I have had separate different ailments that we've had since we've been living in Ecuador. And today we want to talk about a couple of those experiences, what we had to do, and how we felt after.
How we felt during. Okay, so you want to start with yours first?
Yeah, so for me, I have never in my life had a parasite. I should have looked this up before I started talking, but the particular one I got while I was here is fairly common. Similar to what you might get if you drink the water in Mexico or something like that. This happened when we were living in Salinas. I honestly don't know where I got the parasite from. It could have been from like contaminated water or, some other, food items, utensils or something like that. But it's something that it hit me quick. And I thought that I just had a case of like food poisoning.
Yeah.
LaShawn knows me. We've been together a long time. I have an iron stomach. And
He has an iron stomach.
Most things don't bother me. Even, I could eat something bad and it's not going to bother me but so much.
Yeah.
But this time it was just like, as soon as I ate anything, I had to go straight to the bathroom. I was like, okay, this ain't food poisoning, because I had like really bad flu symptoms. I think it was like the first day or so.
Yeah, you had a fever and everything.
And that's, it's unusual for me.
And he was not active. He wasn't active at all.
I wasn't going to work out. Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't feeling well at all, and he was just like, something's not right.
Yeah.
And he doesn't like to call the doctor because he was like, oh, I can shake it off. And it was like,
well, because I thought it was a flu. Yeah, I thought it was a flu.
I think he was on the third day, and I was like, no, something's not right, and you need to contact the doctor. So that's what he did.
Text the doctor, he hit me right back, said, hey, come in, I need you to do some, I had to do the lab work first, right?
Yeah, but they came to you. You couldn't go
that's
anywhere.
right, I couldn't go anywhere, yeah. I forgot, they sent the technician to our condo when we were living in Salinas.
Yeah, and the lab tech came and drew blood and did the urine sample and a fecal sample.
Yeah, sorry if you're eating. But anyway, did all the tests, came back with a parasite, and it wasn't like the not a tapeworm type parasite. Right. It was a bacterial parasite.
It was very bad.
Yeah. Basically, what happened is he gave me some medication, and it wasn't even a lot, if I remember right.
No, he didn't. He only had one antibiotic, and he had to take a probiotic.
Yeah.
Just to counteract the antibiotic. And
I think it was like 10 days I had to do it.
Yeah, and to drink a lot of fluids.
Yeah. I had to go and do another test to make sure that it was gone. It was, I was totally clear. And that was right before we were going on our trip, wasn't it? Before our trip to Alaska.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was cleared before we went.
Yeah.
So that was my experience. And
No. That wasn't. No. That was our trip here.
Oh, to Cuenca.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I knew we were going somewhere.
Yeah.
The question I asked is, okay, what did that cost? It cost the technician coming to the house to collect the samples. That was like $60.
It was $60. And he didn't have to pay anything as a follow-up, did you?
I don't remember. I may have had to pay for the follow-up visit, because that was the first time I actually went to go see him.
Okay, so it wasn't a follow-up visit.
Yeah,
it was actually...
It was following up on the test results and everything.
Yeah.
No, I take that back. Because after the test, I had to go and see him, and that's when he gave me the medication. He gave me the prescription and everything, and I got the medication.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay. And
that visit,
that was a cost.
The follow-up wasn't.
Yeah.
So it was like $25.
So in total, it was less than $100.
Yeah. And, the medication wasn't that expensive. I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't that expensive. And, I was good after that. I'll be more careful. I didn't honestly do anything different when I caught the bug. I don't know where I got it or how I got it.
It just happened.
I haven't had any problems since. That was the only time. And we've been wary of parasites ever since we lived in Ecuador. That's something you got to think about if you're in a foreign country. Mm-hmm. And I just happened to be the first one to get a bug. So that was my experience.
That's his experience. Now, my experience is trial, and error.
Yeah.
So I haven't been feeling well probably like 2 weeks after we got to Cuenca. I've been having some abdominal issues. I've been to the doctor. No. I had a doctor come visit, and we did some lab work. He wanted to rule out a parasite, H. pylori, which is a bacteria, and just do some overall labs just to make sure to see where I was. And so I did all the lab work. I didn't have any parasites, any bacteria, or H. pylori. I thought I was good. Started in November, we went to Baños. On the way back, I got really, really sick. And I mean, it was very bad. So I contacted the doctor again, and he said, you know, any type of surgery you have in your, like stomach surgery, it can cause what they call dumping syndrome, where your food gets to your intestine, your colon faster than it should. It can happen with too much sugar, greasy foods, or anything like that. So I'm thinking that's what it is, the dumping syndrome, and there's really nothing you can do about it. You just have to try to watch what you eat and not try to eat any sugary foods, greasy foods. And when I looked it up online, it was saying try not to drink a lot of water right after you eat, because that can help food digest very quickly. However, maybe a few days later, I had the same symptom, and it was becoming more often than I liked.
And random. It was crazy random. We didn't know what was actually causing it to happen.
Right. It can happen anytime. So it got to a point where I was scared to leave home because I didn't know if I would have those symptoms while we were out. And if you're in Ecuador, there are not a lot of public restrooms available. So you just can't just walk into a restaurant and say, can I use the bathroom, or go to the bathroom, because they may not have a bathroom in that restaurant. Right. So it's not like the U.S.
Or a store, a grocery store, or a shop.
You really have to know where the restrooms are to get there. And then if it's not in walking distance, you can't make it.
Yeah, you might be in trouble then.
Yeah. So. I kept having the symptoms, and I wanted to see a gastroenterologist. So I contacted a friend. They recommended a doctor. She does speak English, and so I went to her, and we talked over. I told her about my symptoms. We talked over everything. So she wanted to do more labs, and so she was saying, although if you have H. pylori, sometimes it doesn't show up in a stool test or a blood test. You may have to do a breath test or an endoscopy where they do a biopsy.
Right. I
didn't want to do that. So we went with the breath test. It came back positive. So for those who don't know what H. pylori is, it's a type of bacteria that infects the stomach. It affects about 2/3 of the world population. And sometimes people may not even know they have it because they don't have any symptoms. What are the symptoms of having H. pylori? For me, when I did not eat, I had a burning sensation like right here at the top of my abdomen, and it hurts. It's like an aching pain. You also can get have nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, numerous things. You can feel fullness. Like I would drink water and I just felt like I was bloated. For whatever reason, I was telling Steve, I said, I just drank water and I feel very bloated. That is one of the symptoms as well. You can lose appetite, you have a lot of belching, and sometimes you can have the nausea, but if you have vomiting, it may go away, it may not. I was explaining to her all of these things, so when I went back to visit her, we talked about it. And the treatment, when I tell you the treatment is harsh.
Yeah, it's harsh for someone who most people don't like taking a lot of pills or having to be on some kind of strict schedule for like medication. So it's harsh in that respect.
The treatment you have to be on 2 antibiotics. And these antibiotics can be anywhere from 500 milligrams up. And just thinking about you're taking one antibiotic that's 500 milligrams and then another one that's 500 milligrams.
Yeah.
Or if, like for my case, I can't take a lot of antibiotics because there are sulfur drugs and I'm allergic to that. So we had to go through several different antibiotics and try a new antibiotic so that I wouldn't have an allergic reaction to it and feel horrible than I already
even
do.
worse than yeah.
So you have to take 2 antibiotics. You have to take a proton pump inhibitor, which is like a Nexium or Pepsi AC, which is an acid reducer, because when you have H. pylori, it produces a lot of acid in your stomach lining. And so you need an acid reducer. And of course, the one thing I hate the most, Pepto-Bismol. For people, I don't know. It's like when Pepto-Bismol hit my stomach, I'm automatic. It's an automatic.
That's been the thing as long as I've known her. Like, yeah.
And it happens with the kids.
Our kids, same thing. Yeah.
It's like it hit. It's a.
It doesn't bother me in the least, but yeah, for whatever reason, for them, yeah, it's disgusting. I'd rather they not take it.
It's worse than taking a cherry amoxicillin that you took as a kid. You remember that?
The cherry amoxicillin was all right.
No,
the regular amoxicillin that I remember,
cherry.
it was disgusting.
That was cherry.
No, I remember the amoxicillin I had when I was a kid.
I remember cherry. Cherry anything is horrible. And a cherry amoxicillin that they used to, your mom come in and shake it up.
Yeah.
And,
out of the refrigerator. No, that cherry tussin and stuff, that was disgusting.
So that was my experience, and you have to take this medicine anywhere from 10 to 14 days. And when I say the antibiotic is 4 times a day, so you're taking 500 milligrams of one antibiotic 4 times a day and another antibiotic 4 times a day. So you're looking anywhere between 3,000 to 4,000 milligrams of antibiotic.
Not to mention that it just so happens, since you had to find one that you weren't allergic to, that the one you were prescribed is like the hardest one to find.
Yes.
Like we went to like 5 different pharmacies
or more
to get, and we had to like get some at one pharmacy and some in
because they didn't
keep it. Yeah,
they may have only carried 2 boxes, 1 box, a couple pills.
And there's like 8 pills in a box, so you needed like
multiple. I had to eat a lot.
Luckily, it was very affordable.
Yeah, it was. Now, let me go back. So taking the test previously, those 2 tests was about $120.
Yeah.
And then the second test, to go back and do the similar test, that was a total of $140.
Right, because the first time you did the allergy test and everything.
But I'm not even counting the allergy test.
That was separate. Okay.
Yeah, that was about $120 because I had to go to. Did I go to 3 different labs?
In total, you did. In total.
Yeah. Okay, so $120 on the first half, and then again $140 on the second half, because I don't know how much the breath test costs. But for me, mine were more expensive and more detailed, and it took more tests to find.
So it was a process of elimination. They had to eliminate all possibilities.
Right, because then in the allergy test, I found out that I'm allergic to pineapple.
That she loves. Broke her heart, y'all. Broke her heart. She's been eating pineapples since we've been in Ecuador multiple times a week.
Pineapples all my life.
Yeah.
Because I love pineapple, not an upside down cake, but just a pineapple cake that my mom used to make.
Yeah.
Delicious. Love it. So we actually thought that the pineapple could have been the culprit
behind all her issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it could have been because.
Yeah, it still could have been, honestly, yeah.
Yeah. Of course, I'm allergic to dogs and cats.
Which, we didn't really know. Cats she avoids anyway. That's not even an issue. But we've had dogs, forever.
Yeah. And I had hives, like, I break out in hives.
Yeah. But we didn't know it was dogs. Yeah.
But anyway,
Tangent.
As one of my friends said, yeah, I'm allergic to dogs, but I'm still gonna love on them until they cut my breath off. Then I'm like, okay, we're gonna have to back off of that. But that is what I endure: H. pylori, and also if it goes untreated, it can cause stomach cancer. From what I read on Mayo Clinic. Right. Medline. I went through all of this, try to figure out like, what is really going on. Now, I've had H. pylori before coming to Ecuador. I still don't know how I contracted it.
Right.
Now, it says that it can come from contaminated food and water, unclean utensils, eating utensils, transfer. What do you call it? Like
bodily transfer, something like that.
Yeah. But he doesn't have it, so right. I didn't contract it from him. So
and it probably wasn't something in our home because I didn't contract it.
Right.
Same with the bacterial parasite that I had. Yeah, she didn't get it.
No.
So it had to been like a restaurant or something we ate at or something. We have no idea where it came from. We have no
idea. So you really just have to be careful. Now we love going to the mom and pop shops. We love it. Street. You've eaten street food.
Not as often, but yeah.
But we try not to eat stuff that's not cooked.
All the way through, yeah.
We try to eat food that's been cooked, but of course, like I said, it could be unclean utensils or glassware.
It could be a plate. It could be anything.
Yeah. So you just want to be careful about eating out.
Yeah. I would like to pre-answer a question that will probably come up. Everything we're talking about is out-of-pocket, like non-insurance based costs.
Oh, yeah.
Because we did have like the IESS, back when I had the Parasite, but it was just straight out-of-pocket.
Because it was
cost.
easier.
It was just easier. You can get the stuff done with healthcare, public or private healthcare, but if you just want it done instantly, you just pay out-of-pocket and it's right away. There's no wait.
Right, because we had to go in and schedule appointment, there may not have been an appointment for him at the time.
I probably had to do like the emergency room and
Yeah, so it was just easier to contact the doctor and pay for the lab work.
Yeah. I literally had his number in my phone. That was easy.
So and that's the convenience of having medical care, private medical care, or just contact a doctor to request an appointment.
Yeah.
And so it was just like when we was in Europe. He got sick, went to doctors online, and then I got sick. So you can only be so cautious. Some things are going to happen, and there's nothing you can really do about it.
Yeah.
You just be able to, if you have to pay out of pocket, pay out of pocket.
Yeah. Just know if you're living south of the border or anywhere abroad, that you can access medical care. Like don't. I think as Americans, you get the stigma of, oh man, I'm sick. Like I got to go through all this trouble, or insurance and all this. You can just text the doctor here and get everything you need. If you're willing to pay out of pocket, it's usually not that expensive, and you can get it done right away.
Oh, and one other thing H. pylori can cause is peptic ulcers. And that is one of the things she checked too, to make sure I didn't have an ulcer.
Yeah.
And I'm glad of that, because ulcers are not.
Yeah. I'm just glad to find out that whatever the issue was that she was having is something that can be treated fairly easily.
Yeah.
And that's
his goal.
99% what was causing all of her issues. So I'm cool.
We're hoping. So when I go back and get for my follow-up, everything will be back to normal.
Yeah.
I would be less likely to eat out as much.
Yeah.
So
anyway, that was our
experiences
with medical care. And if you got questions, leave a comment. If you like the video, click the like button, share it, subscribe to the channel. Also, Happy New Year.
Oh yes, Happy New Year.
2025. Let's get it.
Whew. Let's not have any of these issues in 2025.
2025, 25,000 subscribers. Let's do it. Anyway, thanks for watching.
Like, share, subscribe. Bye.